Alright, what's up guys? I have today a tutorial on how to use the mod Rebirth 9 version 9 configs. So I have mod menu installed that's going to be necessary to get this mods button here. So you go to mod menu, you go to mod Rebirth, and you click configure. And now first we have general settings. These four can be overridden by setting up custom configs. Um, and then here we have one that adjusts how the custom configs are generated. I recommend not messing with this unless you intend to manually edit the files, which I also don't recommend. If you are a server owner, I still recommend that you edit in this GUI and then copy the files over to your server if possible. Just because it helps with error checking and making sure everything is correct that goes into the files. I will get back to this last option later. So first things first, our default settings. These will be applied to anything that meets these criteria. And so in the default settings, you can set the rebirth chance, the chance that extras are born, and so on. I'm not going to go over the specifics of all these options because you can read the tooltips with them. What I am going to do is show you some of these new ones. We have rebirth from player. You can actually turn that off and make it so only death from non-players will trigger this rebirth. And then you have a biome list now that will allow you to choose which biomes mobs are going to be reborn in, and you can either make it so you can block specific biomes or add them. And for demonstration, I'm going to add plains here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and add the prefix here, plains, just to keep it equal, showing the same thing that it shows in the F3 menu. So we have Minecraft plains here, and so because it contains a star, this is a block list, which means the mobs will be reborn everywhere but the plains biome. Now, if I take and I remove this star from the list, now they will only be reborn in the plains biome. I'm going to reset this for the time being and go on to the next option, the reborn mob weighted list. And so, first of all, in this option, an empty ID means the current mob's ID will be used, so whatever is being reborn. So if I were to kill, say, a panda, then a panda is what this one would apply to. And so I'm going to add something to this list and explain how a weighted list works for those who don't know. So first things first, I'm going to say Minecraft what do we want to give them a chance of being reborn as? Let's go with zombies. That's pretty easy. And then I'm going to set that equal to 3. And so what this will do now is anytime something dies, first it'll go check the rebirth chance, and it'll say, okay, we've got a 10% chance. If you make that chance, then it goes down to the reborn mob weighted list, and it looks through that, and it adds the numbers up to get a total. So in this case, it would be a 3 for zombie and a 1 for whatever you just killed, and so that totals up to 4. And so you have a 3 out of 4 chance that the zombie will be born, and a 1 out of 4 chance that it will be reborn as whatever it was before. And so that's pretty much how the weighted list works, and I will demonstrate this in a minute. I'm going to turn up rebirth chance for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to prevent sunlight damage because once zombies start being reborn, I don't want them infinitely dying and reappearing because of sunlight. Alright, And so I'm just going to go ahead and save and quit here to make sure those default settings apply before I do the next thing, which is adding my custom mob settings. And so once you've clicked that, a drop down will appear with mobs, and for now other entity IDs. I would like to filter it down to just things that can actually be reborn. Just run into some issues with that. But in general, this should list all of your mobs and animals. And so in this case, let's take, and I'm going to give custom settings to a cow. Alright, and once you've chosen which one you want custom settings for, save and quit, and open it back up. And now you will have your options for whatever that custom one was. And you can keep adding more this way too, and they will all show up here. And they will stay showing up there once you leave the game and return. It creates the config files for them. And so here you'll notice there is an enabled option that wasn't in the default settings. And that's because this enabled will override whatever you've got here. And if you've got custom settings for something, odds are you want to override this and either say yes, I want it to spawn, or no, I do not want it to spawn. And so that is why that is there. Normally, by default, it'll say yes, because normally, if you create custom settings, you do want it to be reborn. And so you can go through here and customize these settings for the cow specifically. And so I could say, instead of being fully reborn, I want my cow to drop eggs instead. And then I can go to the reborn mob waited list, and I can change this. I can say, okay, I don't want cow eggs at all. I want it to drop chicken eggs for some reason, whatever it may be. And so I'm going to leave that as a 1, and I'm going to set this to 2. So now 33% chance of a chicken egg, 66% chance of what egg do we want to give this, let's say horse. Alright, and then I'm going to turn multi-mob mode, or multi-mob chance up to 100%. I'm just going to set the this option to all, which is a little bit more efficient when you're doing a 100% chance. And then I'm going to increase the count to 6. No, I'm going to make that 5, because including the initial rebirth, that will make 6 altogether. And odds are we will end up with 2 chickens and 4 horses every time we kill a cow. And by that I mean the eggs, not the things themselves, because I've set the eggs option. And so I'm going to save that now, and let's try out those options that I just set. So I'm going to go into the game here, and I'm going to spawn something here. Let me see. I'm going to fly away from all this mayhem I created earlier. Alright, so I've got a panda here that I'm going to kill, and this should use the default settings, which give us 25% chance to spawn a panda, which it just did, and 75% chance for the zombie. As you can see, it spawned the zombie holding that bamboo stick, which is what the panda was holding. Let's do this again, because more often than not, this should be spawning zombies. Alright, so default settings work. Let's try out the chicken, which should have totally different behavior. Chicken. Alright, so when I kill this, it should drop some spawn eggs. And it didn't. What went wrong? Oh yeah, it wasn't a chicken, it was a cow. That would make more sense. Okay, so default settings apply to the chicken too. Let's pull up the cow spawn egg. Alright, This one has the custom settings. Alright, so killed the cow, and this time I got 3 chicken spawn eggs and 3 horse spawn eggs. Pretty close. And let's see what we get out of. I'm going to clear my inventory. Grab another axe right quick. Alright, Mr. Cow, come here. 3 and 3 again. Alright, let's do this one more time. Find me another cow. Let's see if there's any just crowded around out here somewhere. Nope. Alright, I'm just going to get rid of these eggs and show that it's not 3 and 3 every time, and then we'll be good to go. Cow spawn egg. Okay. Die cow. 3 and 3. Alright. There, we got a different result. That was what? 5? Oh, and then that thing picked up the 1. So it was 5 and 1, and the zombie picked up that 1. Okay. And where's that last cow? I'm just going to kill it because I've got to. Okay. And there we go. So that ends this tutorial. I will have Mob Rebirth version 9 available on Patreon within the next few minutes, and by the time this video is uploaded it should be there, and I will put a link in the description. It will be made available on CurseForge in 2 weeks. Enjoy!